Do you need to write a marketing plan for 2021? Then you come to the right place, because I will give you my step-by-step guide for how you can write an incredible marketing plan in an easy and simple way. If you stay till the end of this video, I will show you how you can develop my 7-step guide to write a marketing plan, so you can really go into depth after this video. And in this guide, I've actually left links to some of my private cheat sheets, which I hope you will find really beneficial, because it is what I'm using for my own clients when I work with them on an everyday basis. So, if you don't know me, I am Jessie, and I'm the founder of the brand Catalyst, which is a brand and marketing workshop. And I help people just like you develop their brand and marketing skills and their marketing for their business. And I do that via my online course, as well as helping people just create content and strategy and just develop the brand around their business. So it's really exciting. For the best brand and marketing advice, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you hit the bell to get notified when I post a new video every Thursday. Let's dive right in. So let's start talking about how you can write a really professional marketing plan for your business. Right, the first thing, step number 1 that I would do would be really going in depth and researching your target audience. So who is it that could potentially be interested in your business? So I always say to my clients that imagine what a day in your avatar or your ideal client's day look like. So let's say I'm your potential client. Well, what do? I will wake up in the morning and I will have a black coffee. I will walk my corgi, my dog Bobby. And then I work in brand marketing, and in my spare time I like going to creative events and the arts and the theatre. And based on that information around me, and if you were targeting me with your business, you would know certain topics and certain things you could start tapping into and talking about in order to spark my interest. So I would say map out 3 to 5 persona profiles for your ideal clients and really focus on these people when you're rolling out any content, any marketing you're doing afterwards. And make sure in the process that you're identifying what it is that really means something to them, because that'll be the emotional benefits and the emotional triggers that you can tap into when you're creating your content. So step number 2 is to really go through the market space that your business is operating in and analyzing your competitors. So step number 2, analyze your competitors. You want to understand what it is that they offer. What is it that people buy into when they are choosing them over you? So what can you learn from them? And once you gather that understanding, you can start diving into, well, but what makes you different? And how can you differentiate and play up that as a positive thing that might be able to attract some of their clients over to your business? So again, make sure that I note down 3 to 5 things that you can learn from your competitor, but also things that are differentiating you, and then start incorporating this into your strategy once you start rolling it out after making your plan. So right now you know who your ideal client is, and you know your market space in terms of competitors, and you know what's going on out there. You know what you can do more of, and you know what you can learn from others, and maybe what you shouldn't be doing. So the next step is to set yourself some KPIs. What are you trying to achieve with the content that you will be developing for your business? So there's visibility, there's time spent with brand, and there's conversion. Sometimes I actually call that conversation as well, but it depends a little bit of what it is that you're trying to achieve. So if you're talking about visibility, what you'll be trying to do here is to get impressions. I say the easy way of thinking about it is, if you are doing Facebook advertising, how often can you get in front of your potential customer so that you're creating awareness about that you are even existing. So depending on your budget and the size of your business and what it is that you do, you want to make measurable and say, okay, so what is my goal? How many visibility impressions do I want to get? Then from that, when people have sparked an interest, you want them to spend time with your brand. So that could be, okay, you finally got my interest, so I'm now getting into your website to maybe write about the product, or I might Google you and I might find reviews and I might really start diving into what it is that you are about. So that's asking me to actually spend more time with your brand. So map out what that looks like. What does time spent with brand mean for your business, and how you're gonna get that, how you're gonna get people hooked in to actually spend more time, because we all know that the more time they spend, the more likely they are to buy your product, because you're building that record and you're building a relationship with the prospective clients. And then we have conversion or conversation. So conversion is getting them to perform a desired action. So it can of course be buying your product, but I think that's just one thing. So the reason I also call it conversation is how can you get them to actually be contributors to the conversations that you are seeding online. So you might want them to write product reviews if they're already bought, but also where can they go in and share your content, and how can they really engage and not just research, but really like become an active part of whatever it is that you are offering. So step number 4 is planning your pipeline. So in any healthy business, I would at the year start figure out, okay, so what are the allocations I have financially to tackle any creative needs, any campaign needs that I will have for my business. And I will then split that into quarters, but still identify where you need most work done, because it might not be an even split per quarter if there's times that are very important for your business to actually go in and deliver certain messages for your target audience, because that's where you're gonna claw in a lot of profit. So make sure you plan ahead and you start developing a complete transparency around what it is that you want to achieve for your business, so that you're really utilizing all opportunities for for communicating with your audiences. So task number 5 is to budget for your content. So you could say that this is actually the layer on top of planning your pipeline, because you have already done a rough kind of estimation of, okay, we need to do these campaigns in these quarters, we need to hit this target audience with that type of messaging, we need to make sure that we are talking around these social events that are happening throughout the year in order to stay relevant and create some momentum around our brand. Now you need to allocate the money a bit more granular and say, okay, so in Q1 we have these 4 projects going, for instance, and as I mentioned before, I made a video on value-based pricing, but you would essentially go in and say, okay, so what work stream does this service? And how can I make sure that I'm having a sensible return on investment based on what it is that I'm allocating to that specific project? But also, what am I trying to achieve? And a thing that I often talk about is bulking your projects together. So are there something we can do in one go in order to optimize our budget? So how can you start working your budget really, really hard? And a good producer would be able to help you and advise you on how you can optimize. But I think from a business perspective, if you're not a producer background, I would really keep in mind that you need to think about not spreading it into the 4 different projects and work them separately. So say you have 50K, then you want to allocate 12.5 for each, or maybe like, I don't know, whatever split you do. But just think about that can actually be really, you waste a lot of time in management in that, instead of just saying, okay, how can I work this harder by working it as maybe 1 or 2 projects all together with different messagings within it. So that is task number 5. Start budgeting and being a bit more granular around each project that you have put into your content calendar and into your pipeline. So before we move into step number 6, let me know what project you're the most excited about having to produce for your business this year. Right, so let's dive into step number 6. We're really getting there with building your marketing plan. So we have done all the past research work, we know who we're targeting, we've budgeted, and we've made a content calendar. Now you need to actually start executing on each individual project. And from task number 5, we said try and work it together. But this is where I would dig even deeper and say, okay, so looking in silo at the project that you've identified that you're gonna need to cost for, you'll start saying, okay, so if I am to have a Christmas campaign hitting in Q4, well, when do I then need to start planning production? When do we need to do creative concepts? When do we need to do strategy work for us? So actually work backwards and you say, okay, so I might actually have to start doing this work in June in order to hit my my deadline so that I am live with it in November or whenever it's relevant. So start being really, really in a planning mode at this point. So it is timings, but it's also budget. So who's the right people, but also who am I casting? Who's the right team to put onto this task? So it is really getting close to getting into production and just being getting ready to create all the exciting work. So that is step number 6. So for step number 7, this is a little bit of a cheeky one. I want you to actually go and join my free webinar on driving. We're talking about driving a sustainable brand and marketing strategy and driving purpose with your organization. I think this can really benefit you when you are looking at defining what it is that your business is about, but also what it is that you're in step number 1, who's your target audience and what is it that you're gonna connect about. So this will really dive deep into figuring ways of defining what it is that you should talk to your target audience about, but there's also some really cool messaging strategies for how you can then start communicating to them so that you're not just talking about your product, because fact out that people don't care about what it is that you're selling. They care about what it is that you're about as a business, at least in the first initial phase when it is that you're starting a conversation and sparking that interest. So how can we build that layer on top of any business and start communicating smarter? So step number 7, make sure you join my webinar, and I have left a link for you in the description below. Now, I promised you in the beginning that I would show you, so it should come up on the screen now. I will show you how you can download my free 7-step guide on how to build a marketing plan. There are really some, I've given you the brief rundown now in this video, but there are really some meaty content. And as you can see, there's several links to my cheat sheets that you can download. So you should really be good to go on creating your marketing plan and just become really structured around it so that you can be executing in the most powerful way for your business. Right, that's it for this one. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and share it with friends and colleagues who can hopefully benefit from this video as well. So right around now, there should be a couple of videos popping up around me. So that is my latest videos that can help your business excel when it comes to branding and marketing. So make sure you check it out, and I will see you there.